Hello everyone, I'm going to endeavour to make something today out of things that you see on my table here at home. Hopefully you might not have everything the same as I have, but you'll probably be able to find some things around the house. You'll just have to ask Mum and Dad not to put them out in the recycling. Okay, so today's story is all about a very important man who was travelling from Jerusalem to Gaza, and he was travelling in a very nice carriage. And I know that Sue Watson will be explaining the story a little bit more later on, but we are going to see if we can make a carriage out of some of what I've got here on the table. Okay, so I've got a nice shoebox which is going to be the basis of my carriage. You might not have something like this. You might have had a box from a certain delivery person over the weeks that you've been stuck at home, or you might have a cereal box. So either of those or any of those will be fine. So from my box I'm actually going to put a window in on each side, and we're going to try and put some wheels on the box as well. Okay, so we're going to try and do that now. So first of all, I'm going to try and make 4 wheels. So I've found, I don't know if you can see this, it's actually a clear lid from a pot. I'm going to draw around it on a piece of card. Again, I'm going to use this card here, but you might find a cereal box works really well. So first of all, I'm just going to cut this off here. Okay, and we'll get rid of that box over there. And then I'm going to put 4 wheels on my carriage. So I'm going to draw around my template. You might want to turn a mug upside down or something if you haven't got a lid of something, but I'm sure you'll find something to draw a circle. I'm going to cut out 4 wheels, okay, all the way round. And now I'm going to draw the spokes and the center hub of the wheel. And I'm going to draw all the way around the edge. This is a black felt tip. Oh, it's a bit wobbly. This is giving it's because it's corrugated card. This is going all the way around the edge. To give the sign, it's almost like a bit of metal. Often they might have metal around the edge. You could use black paint if you wanted to. It's a bit more wobbly than I thought it was going to be, but it shows it's homemade, doesn't it? There we go, all the way around. And then we're going to draw some spokes. Some of these spokes are more wobbly than others. There we go. So we're going to do that for all 4 wheels. Okay, so now we're ready for the next stage. So I'm going to actually put windows in my carriage. You might want to put draw them on if you haven't got something that you can cut into by putting paper over or sticking a picture of a window on. I'm actually going to make a hole in mine. So before I do that, I'm going to think where I'm going to put the wheels on my carriage. And then I've got a yogurt pot here that I'm going to draw around just to give me a basic shape and a position for the window. Okay, so don't want it, that's it. We're just going to draw around this. Just gives me a bit of an idea where to put the window. And then I'm going to go around the top of it because I don't want it to be quite the same size as the yogurt pot. So there we go, there's the shape of my window. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, and we'll show you how to connect the wheels in a minute. Cut the window out. Go all the way around. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to turn the box over, and on the opposite side I'm going to use the piece I cut out from there to draw round, so I've got the same shape window on the other side of the box, and then I'm going to cut that out as well. Okay, right, so now we have a box with 2 holes for windows. Okay, so we're now going to put the wheels on. Right, there's a few ways you could do this. I have a little box, a very old little box of, they're called paper fasteners, or they're called split pins. So I don't know if you can see that. I'll put it on the box here. Can you see it? Yeah. And they open up. You put them through and they'll open up. So you might have those at home. If you don't have those at home, then don't worry about it, because I'm not going to actually use one today. I'm actually going to just use some normal glue, which I'm sure most of you will have that. If you don't have glue, oh, I don't know if that one's any good. I'm going to find another pack of glue out of my pot. If you don't have glue, then sellotape will work just as well. I'm going to stick the wheel on. I'm just going to make it hang over the back of the carriage a little bit. One there. And one there. There we go. So we're just beginning to get a little bit more of what looks like a carriage. Okay, so we'll do the same the other side, and then we'll do the next stage. Okay, so now, oh sorry about that, frog in the throat. Now we have a carriage, a basic carriage with all 4 wheels on, beginning to take shape, but and 2 windows, one this side and one that side. So now this carriage didn't have an engine, it would have horses pulling it, so we need to create something for the driver of the carriage to sit on at the front. So this is too big, so we're going to have to trim it down. Okay, so I'll now show you how we're going to make a little step for the carriage driver to stand on. Okay, so I'm now going to try and make this into a step for the carriage driver to stand on. So I'm going to cut down, because we don't need it as wide. I'm cutting down a little bit. You might not have something like this. It just shows you what we've been eating while we've been on lockdown. Very tempting these are, and very tasty. So I'm just cutting all the way along. And I'm going to do the same the other side. Okay, so I've now got my box that's been cut down, and I'm now going to make a flange. Now that's all on the instruction of my lovely husband, who is helping me out with the filming of this today. So I'm going to cut out the side edges. Now this is getting a bit more technical. You might have a different way of attaching a little step to your carriage, but this is the way we're doing it today. Okay, and I'll do the same the other side. Right, so now I've adapted my rather tasty box. I'm not sure how many of you might go running to the shops to buy something like this, so you get the box, but anyway, that's between you and your mum and dad. Anyway, so now we're going to create the flange. So I'm going to turn it upside down. I have a board, a piece of card, and my box. And I'm going to put a little ruler inside. And then I'm going to get the scissors. You might need to ask an adult to help you. And I'm just going to run the scissors along the card, creating a little line of break. It breaks the cardboard down a little bit, so that then we can fold it. And then I'm just using the ruler as a guide and something to press against, so hopefully the line is fairly straight all the way along. And now that's why there's a board on there, to stop it damaging my table. And then what we'll do is we'll fold it against that line that I've created. You might not see it, but hopefully it will fold up. It's a bit tricky, but there we go. Okay, so the next thing will be to pop this on the front of my carriage like that. I'm just putting some glue along the flap all the way along there, and then all the way along this bit, and then I'm also going to put glue very carefully so I don't pull the wheels off along the front of here, and on the underneath. Again, you'll probably find your own ways of making this all stick together. You'll find your own ways of using bits of cardboard or pots or whatever to make your own version. It doesn't have to be the same as mine. In fact, it'd be nice because everybody's can be unique and different. And then we're going to stick it. Oh, I don't know if I put the glue in quite the right place, but let's stick it on the front. Okay, so now I have a box with a lid. You might not have a box with a lid, although you might be able to create something. You might be able to use the roof to put seats on. I'm going to put seats inside mine, but you might want to do something by putting them on the top. So these seats fit beautifully inside my box. So they're going to go, oh, I've just dropped one on the floor. They're going to go in. Okay, they don't look very nice at the moment, so what I'm also going to do is cover them with something, and I've got some lovely purple tissue paper. You could cover them in a paper that you've coloured in or drawn patterns on. You could do your own furniture design if you like. Yes, you could even design design your own furniture for the inside or the top of your carriage. Right, so now we're going to, I've covered the boxes. There's one there and there's one here, and we're going to stick them in to make them they're now becoming seats inside our carriage. Okay. Right, so this is the basic model now. And I've just put a few ideas together here as to what you can now do to complete it if you like, or you can just leave it just like this. So I've got different paints. You could paint the whole of the outside. You could use some wrapping paper or some coloured paper. I've actually got a little bit of shiny card, but not everybody will have that. But you can then design your own, and then I've actually got some little, these are Duplo characters, so I'm going to actually sit a couple on the front if they'll stay. Ooh, bit of a slant. They're going to be the people who are the drivers, the carriage drivers. Well, slight technical hitch with a slopey front, and then I'm going to try, without the people falling off, to position some people on the inside. This one's got a helmet on. I think he might have come from a motorbike, a Duplo motorbike, but there we go. So that's my completed carriage. So there are other things you can use to make a carriage. One of my little granddaughters has made something during the week, and so there'll be a picture of that come up now, and then you can make something from Duplo, which we will show you, or even Lego. And while I was doing this, God really showed me what we can make out of what we would class as rubbish. So my table is now looking rather messy. I'm not sure if you can see how messy my table is looking with all the bits, but actually the story is all about telling the good news. But the good news for us is that out of our rubbish or bits and pieces, God can make something really special and precious.